There's no crimes. What crimes?
Intent.
What? Intent to do what?
If we're looking at those two things, the intent.
Intent to do what?
To obstruct justice.
From a crime that wasn't committed.
No. Intent.
No. There was no collusion with Russia, right? So if there's no collusion with Russia, how can there be intent to obstruct a crime that was not committed? Welcome back, sports fans. Well, you'll recognize this guy if you've been watching my videos or any length of time. It's my favorite liberal Piñata. Comes around every few months. And it's the same old story with him, you know. I swear, and this is the one thing about the liberals, right? I mean, this guy is like, if you go to case study of liberal mentality, this guy's like, would be it. Where they seem to be, there's nothing about supporting Donald Trump at all. It's not even about so much, you know, listening to his policies, or it's just all about bringing him down. It's all about trying to find something wrong with the man instead of supporting him. Instead of helping America, it's all about hurting America by hurting the guy that's at the head of it, because he's not the one you voted for. And it comes out perfectly in this video, because this guy just won't, you know, we'll see, they got to keep on looking, you know, it's just the beginning, it's just the start. A start of what? I mean, they just can't get rid of it. Anyway, you know. So that's what that is. My favorite liberal Piñata here. And I see if he shows back up after the FISA documents get released and what happens with them. If anything happens to them. Hell, I might be like, you know, joining him in the next few months if we don't see some indictments coming down. If we keep on sitting around with our thumb up our ass waiting for something to happen, you know, we're certainly going to look like the fools. At any rate, let's hope he's wrong and we're right. And do the routine, will you? Look, I really need some support, guys. If you're watching my videos on a regular basis, subscribestar.com and then search Badass at Sam. I know this is a real pain in the ass. You got to hit a couple of buttons. Jesus, damn, man. At any rate, do it. And then, you know, subscribestar.com and hit a tier and contribute something once a month to me, will you? It'd be nice. Be nice. Or go to my shop at Threadless and get something. No, there's only so many t-shirts you can buy. What the hell? But I bust my ass doing this. So, you know, it'd be nice if I could get some people to go ahead and help me out. So, and again, if you can't do anything at all, or pray for me. If you can do something for me, still pray for me. All right, let's get to the streets. Oh, getting better all the time.
They're keeping you busy?
Oh, of course. I mean, things are getting better all the time, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. I think things are getting better all the time.
I mean, now that the Russian hoax is exposed, and now that they're going to release the documentation showing what started the Russian hoax.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see
and this is, you know, what I can't get. I mean, guys like, Adam Shit for Brains coming out yesterday going, oh, releasing all that documentation is un-American. Well, I thought they wanted transparency.
No, I don't think it's un-American. I think that they just have to be careful what they release, because it could compromise other ongoing things.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly.
I mean, I think that's right. But I just have to disagree with you about the Mueller probe. I think it probably wasn't as clear as the results weren't as clear as some folks would like it to have been.
But what that mean? Well, please elaborate.
Well, I just think that that was the first step. I mean, I think that a lot of
2-year investigation.
I think that was the first
500
step.
people get investigated.
I think it's going to go on. I mean, I think it's.
But why? They came up with no collusion. No, that the whole thing was started out. Again, we found out. This is all documented.
Yeah.
It was started on a dossier paid for by her.
Well, we'll find out. They.
No, we already found this out.
We'll find
we
it
know
out.
this.
Oh no, they're going to study it, right?
Steele himself, the one that presented the dossier, even said he doubted its veracity. We know that. I mean, even beforehand, that they knew that there was nothing there, that it was unverifiable. We know this for a fact.
Yeah.
This is not even in question. This is why now it's being investigated, because they withheld evidence to the FISA courts.
And we'll find out.
We know this.
I think we know. I think in some cases we know that. But Trump has got Trump is unleashed Barr to get into the whole thing, right?
Which is a good thing.
Yeah. So at some point we'll find out more information once Barr goes in.
Now let's say it comes out.
Yeah.
That everything I just said is true, that the whole thing was started as a hoax to undermine
I'd be very disappointed. I'd be very disappointed, and it would not make me happy. I'd be very disappointed.
I think you're going to be very unhappy and very disappointed.
I think that we'll be back in 6 months, and it'll be very interesting to see what's transpired during that period of time.
Much like 6 months ago when we talked about the Mueller investigation,
exactly.
And nothing came out. And,
a lot came out of the Mueller investigation. A lot of it came out, I think, based on his obstruction of justice.
What? Well, if there was obstruction, excuse me, how can you obstruct justice from a crime that was not committed?
Intent.
From a crime. Wait. There was no crime committed, so there was no intent.
Intent.
For what reason?
Well,
there was no crime.
No, he was never exonerated from a crime. He was never exonerated from a crime.
Why wasn't he charged?
He wasn't. He said, "I'm not going to charge him, but I'm not going to exonerate him. It's up to the Congress to make that decision."
No. It would be up to the Attorney General. Congress is not an investigative body, nor
They certainly are. They're making that. They're doing the investigation right now.
Yeah, but please, if I may.
Barr is in.
If I may.
Barr is in Trump's
If I may. The Congress only has jurisdiction over what they allocate monies to the executive branch to use if they're using it properly. They do not have the ability.
Congress has impeachment power based on crimes and misdemeanors.
Yeah, but there's no crimes. What crimes?
Intent.
Intent to do what?
If we're looking at those two things, the intent.
Intent to do what?
To obstruct justice.
From a crime that wasn't committed.
No. Intent.
No. There was no collusion with Russia, right? So if there's no collusion with Russia, how can there be intent to obstruct a crime that was not committed?
It's attempt to.
Can you follow that logic? No collusion. No collusion whatsoever. They found nothing.
Yeah, I know.
So how do you obstruct
stay tuned.
From a crime that was never committed?
Okay, well, we'll see. I mean, it's not up to you and me to decide this, but we'll see. It's up to other people to decide it.
Common sense says if Mueller comes out, so there's no collusion, that means that there was no crime.
They didn't find collusion. They didn't find collusion.
Amen to that.
He found plenty of opportunities for collusion,
which didn't happen.
And there was no smoking gun.
It even showed up in the Mueller report that the Russians were rejected by the Trump administration.
Rejected?
Yes. That was in the Mueller report.
They were rejected.
Yes,
I think they were welcomed.
The Russians approached them, and they were rejected by the Trump administration.
They were welcomed many times. But anyway, listen. The process is going to continue. 6 months
and you're
from
going to continue to get
6
embarrassed.
Months from now, we'll see. Okay, let's see. Let's see who in 6 months is embarrassed.
See you before then, because a lot's going to happen soon.
A lot's going to happen soon. A lot's going to happen very soon. A lot's going to happen very soon.
When they release those FISA documents and start showing where all this came from and the corruption that was involved, you're going to see Brennan, Strzok, all the underlings are going to go down. They're going down because they've already been caught in contradictions and lies. And eventually it's going to be asked, well, what did Biden, Clinton, and Obama know? Right. And when did they know it?
Right.
Because if the underlings go down, I mean, you can't say if Brennan didn't, know.
Well, you gotta say that but Trump was passed on information knowing that this whole thing was happening. I mean, I don't think they kept him in the dark about the whole thing. The fact that the Russians...
Yeah, because the note from Lisa Page saying the boss wants to know everything we're doing, meaning that Obama was kept in the loop about the entire hoax, about the whole thing from the beginning. Speculation is that it was a brainstorm of Brennan, and because he had secret meetings with Obama, or off record, him and who's that bald-headed idiot, that other intel guy, I can't remember his name right now. But they had secret meetings that were off the boards, off the records. So, they're unprecedented, right? So the speculation is that they hatched this whole hoax, one, to try to keep him out of office, and then two, that's what that insurance policy was, to release the insurance policy to get him out of office if indeed they couldn't get her in. So the whole thing was, like Trump has been saying, it was treason. It was an attempted coup to remove a duly elected president. The biggest scandal in the United States, performed by the Democrats, by the highest echelons of the intelligence department, because the deep state has infested our entire apparatus for decades now. And the whole thing is like, when in the book I'm reading here, it's Secret Empires, is about how the politicians form alliances with their families through corporations, where that undermine our own basic security for their benefit.
I believe that's a mistake.
So that this is, about, how Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, $1.5 billion deal with China, while Joe was doing a deal with China on their, on policy. So, I mean, what?
Okay. That hasn't stopped, by the way. I mean,
of course it hasn't.
It hasn't stopped. And if anything, Trump is following in the footsteps of those that preceded him.
If that's true, then there'd be indictments flying out the ass, because they watch this man under a microscope. So if what you said was true, then there'd be indictments coming out the ass now. But he stopped, when he got in, he stopped all those investments, divested himself entirely from all the investments, gave it to his family. And they've lost money since.
Come on. David, he's divested himself? He hasn't divested himself? Of course he has divested himself?
Yes.
Well, that'll come. I'm interested to find out how those things come out. I don't think we'll
as
find...
I said, as much as they're after him, because the Congress doesn't seem to do anything at all for us. All they do is investigate him. I mean, name one piece of legislature they passed since they've been in. All they do is, we're going to raise these taxes. We got to look at this. We want to talk to Mueller. We want to talk to Trump Jr. That's all you ever hear from them. All they do is blah, blah, blah. They don't pass any legislation for us.
Hey, they still have the presidency. They still have the Senate, and this bill to indemnify people from the effects of the hurricane just went down as a result of a Republican vote. I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
And again, I just spoke to an intelligence man who does cyber intelligence for our government. And what he said to me is the same thing. Yesterday, I spoke to another cyber intelligence guy who retired a year ago, who did intelligence for the intelligence networks. Both of them said the same thing.
What was that?
That Our system of government is so infested with the deep state that with him getting in, they are so against him upsetting the status quo that they're doing everything they can to undermine his presidency because they don't want to undermine their own power. So he's a threat through the elitist establishment that has been going on for decades.
Well, I mean, I agree.
So if they were going to find something against him, they would have found it. But the guy's squeaky clean.
Come on. He's squeaky clean.
But then where's the indictments?
Okay, we'll see.
Then where's the indictments?
Okay.
I mean, as much as they're after him, as much as they're after him, where are the indictments?
I'll be back in 6 months, and we'll see what's transpired.
I'm sure you'll be back before then, and I'll still have a good laugh.
What? Oh well. Oh, I guess all we can say is.
I know what you always say to me. We'll see. We'll see.
Be back in 6 months, and
that's all you ever say to me. We'll see.
But I think that I will remember. We both should remember your statement about Trump being squeaky clean. That might be one of the most important things that comes of our conversations.
Again, what if they would have, as much as they're after him?
I know.
They would have come up with something.
Well, I mean, once they get the release of his documents. Best thing they can do
is like he grabbed pussy. That's the best they can do.
Once we get the release of his documents, we'll see.
But then that's another thing. Release of documents for what? I mean, this is a Soviet-style investigation. You show me the man, and I'll come up with the crime. You have to have some evidence of something wrong first to even start an investigation.
Well, let's just say.
But Democrats aren't doing that. Give us all this documentation. We'll find the crime.
All the presidents that have come up, all the people that have run for president, have given their tax
That
documents.
doesn't mean crap to a tree. He doesn't have to do it. There's no legal obligation to do it.
New York.
There's no legal obligation to do it.
New York, thankfully.
And why would they do it? This happened before he was president. Why do we give a crap?
We do. Well, we give a tremendous crap.
Maybe you do. No one else does.
So I give a tremendous crap. And we'll see once those tax documents are released, we'll find out a little bit more about the business, a little bit more about where the investments are, what's coming in.
Your Soviet-style justice.
No,
show me the man and I will show you the crime.
It's not Soviet-style.
Then why do we keep on digging? There's no evidence of a crime to begin with. You're digging for a crime.
Up to this point.
You're digging for a crime. There's no evidence of a crime. There's no evidence of a crime. Show me the evidence of a crime.
I think there's evidence of a crime. I think there's.
Show me even the speculation of evidence of a crime.
Let's get the papers
for sale. Or
yes, I do.
You do? How much? Let me get 2 of them.
We'll be back in.
All right. All right. How you doing, folks?
Intent to do what? There's just no logic there. I mean, you got to have the horse before the cart, but not with these guys. Just push that cart down the hill. Well, okay, or up the hill in their case. Okay, if you like it, like it. If you care, you share. If you haven't subscribed, do. And if you have subscribed, subscribe again. And then subscribestar.com, badass Uncle Sam. Hit a tier that you contribute once a month or do a one-time payment, PayPal. Or at threadless.com and get a shirt. God bless you, in the streets.